So today we wanted to talk about the Travis Scott tragedy. We wanted to ask a pertinent question. It's kind of a side note to the whole entire event. We're not admonishing that this happened or didn't happen or was bad or was not. We're not arguing that. What we want to argue here is, why were parents allowing 10-year-olds to 14-year-olds to even 16-year-olds to go to this concert? Why would you allow your minor child under the age of 18 to go to one of these concerts? And if you are just dumb not to know what these concerts are about, then you shouldn't have allowed them to go, and you should investigate everything your child does before they do it. Find out if it's okay. And if you're a type of parent that thinks going to these types of events should be safe, you're absolutely right. They should be safe. However, this is the real world. People like that are allowed their freedoms. They are allowed to perform. These other people are freely running amok, so to speak. We've had mosh pitting for now over 20, 30 years. That doesn't admonish what happens. We can't say if Travis knew that this type of thing was actually happening at the time, but we're going to go ahead and assume that there are 10 people gone off the earth right now, and that would have been a big enough stampede to have caught his attention, to put some reminders out there what kind of guy Travis is, or what kind of a robot he is out on that stage. In context, we look at like Kurt Cobain. He literally halted his entire concert to call out a man that was sexually harassing a woman in a crowd. He made his point and stopped the event. And before we go into this, Travis is innocent of all charges and whatnot, while we do kind of sort of agree, we also have a few problems. Travis literally egged on a fan to jump off a balcony, and now that fan is permanently paralyzed. When he lost a shoe in the crowd, when a fan took his shoe off, keep in mind this is while he was crowd surfing, so he was already interacting with the crowd. There's always going to be those shoe grabbers. They want to get something for their experience, and they're going to rip the shirts. We've all figured that out by now. At least some people have. But after the kid took his shoe, he kept telling all his fans to actually jump the kid. But that kid was in fact a minor child. He was asking people to beat up a minor child because the minor child took a shoe. While we don't know if every story is absolutely truth, there's even one that says that there was a guy that worked with him for 3 years. When the man had a seizure, Travis literally walked away. Now, if these things are absolutely truth, then people have no reason to idolize this type of stupidity. And if you're going to go out in crowds and instigate and start things, then you're opening yourself up to major litigation. Causing fans to be hurt is one thing that you don't want to do. Heavy metal bands stop entire shows because the mosh pitting was getting a little out of hand and people were getting downright hurt. Keep in mind, even crowd surfing can be a really dangerous thing. You can fall down, bust the back of your head, twist your neck up, hitting the ground. There's a lot of different things that can happen just crowd surfing. There was over 300 people that left there needing medical attention. So we have to assume that Travis had to have been aware of this situation. He's not the police. We have to reiterate this to a lot of people. This is why we have a hard time being on any type of stand on this issue. The only part we have a problem with is the parental guidance portion of it, which was severely lacking in this case, because you had victims from 10 to 14, a lot of them. We would suggest that Americans just simply stop worshiping sociopathic, narcissistic, impossible human beings. Some people are just better left being ignored. Musicians seem to be getting dumber and dumber as they go. It just seems like we go from bad music to downright stuttering. It's kind of funny. I made a joke to my daughter many years ago. She was listening to some terrible music. And I said, "What's next? Are they going to start stuttering?" And a week later, we had Lady Gaga. It was almost as if time itself had just written me in to be right. We have word that he actually removed a tweet that he had made earlier that night, encouraging fans that couldn't get tickets in that were due from a sellout to storm the barricades and overpower security to get in. So if there was anything to blame on Travis here, if that tweet was legit, it was actually overcapacity because he encouraged it. Now, there's a saying in Hollywood, the show must go on. But there are simple things in life that you can just follow every day and everyone will respect you. If people are getting hurt or abused or something is definitely wrong, stop the show. Everyone will appreciate you more for the effort. No one really cares if they lose 1 little minute of time just to make sure a human being is okay. Now, if you've ever experienced a crowd rush, we actually did during a ball drop in our hometown, and the very second it counted down to 3, 2, 1, everybody started to shift. We took out the DJ booth. The DJ was mad as heck at me, and I looked at him like, what do you want me to do, buddy? I can't. I'm getting pushed into your tables. I'm knocking your stuff over. These people are pushing me. There's nothing I can do. And we got pushed, tables and all, into the barricades. And you think it's not that big of a deal, but for people who are really small, such as minor children, it might be a pretty big issue. Now, we're not going to sit here and play as if concerts have been safe. There's been Lollapalooza, Livestock, Woodstock. All of these things weren't necessarily safe for a bunch of different reasons. We know concerts aren't safe, and to those mothers and fathers that allow their children to go to these type of venues, we have to ask you, what are you thinking? How detached from reality are you to allow your minor child to go to a venue where there are literally going to be gangbangers, where there are literally going to be violent events, where there's not going to be that much security? These type of events are supposed to be secure, but we all know better. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon, a good morning, a good night, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. See ya.